Alright guys, we are back here today with the Dominaria Sealed pre-release league kind of deal on that Magic Online. I do believe I'm going to keep this hand because it's going to let me play Skittering Surveyor turn 3, leading me into Josu Vest turn 4, or, all these double-colored cards, all of which are pretty big bombs. So we're going to keep this and see where the lands fall over the next couple of turns. Now, like I was saying, I actually got the chance to play in pre-release yesterday. I played a traditional pre-release at a local shop, and then since my family pre-ordered a box, we ended up doing a two-headed giant event with that for fun, and then a draft for fun. And I gotta say, this is a phenomenal set for Limited. I kind of jumped into this sealed thing yesterday morning, just seeing what's this going to be like, and it was pretty overwhelming. But once you get to know these cards, once you start playing with these, this is just an absolutely fantastic set of cards, and I've really been enjoying it. So if you haven't yet gotten to play this, I would definitely recommend it. I will say I prefer draft a little bit over sealed, but that's also just kind of my play style. I'm not traditionally a big sealed kind of player, but I always love draft. Alright, so this turn, I still haven't actually drawn into a land, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Skittering Surveyor and search out the land that I think is going to give me the most upside. Now, that's not going to be on island, because hopefully I'll still have this around and be able to actually play this Djinn, potentially next turn if I want to, but either way I'll only need 1 blue mana for it. So I have to decide which one of these cards is better for me. And I'm actually going to say it's probably, I'm going to give it to Josu Vest here. And the main reason is because I have Arcane Flight. If I didn't have this Arcane Flight in hand, I would actually be getting the white mana for Serra Angel. But I just feel like I can cast that a little bit later, but I know I can run out Josu Vest and then end up getting the ability to attach Arcane Flight onto him and just start smashing in the air for a lot of damage. So the big question is, do I play him next turn or do I play this Djinn? I think I just go ahead and run out the Djinn. That seems like a pretty good call to me, actually. Yes, I absolutely will use his ability. I'll get a Swamp. And now I'm going to pass the turn. Couple reasons to do this. One is because I'm relying on having an artifact on the battlefield to tap to actually play him, so I will need the ability to, keep this guy out here. So this only requires him to stick around for 1 turn. Then he can start doing some trading with this Knight of New Benalia. And additionally, just because this is a bigger body than what Josu Vest was going to be. It already has the flying without Arcane Flight. I just think it's a significantly more upside kind of play. I have to imagine my opponent's going to attack in with both. Well, actually, they may not attack in with Knight of New Benalia here. They probably don't expect me to want to keep around the Skittering Surveyor, so they have to imagine that's just trading down at this point, I think. But they are going to attack with both, and I'm going to let them both come through. I'll take 4 here, go to 15. This has seemed to be a very slow format. Much like a lot of people I know predicted, it really does allow some of these later game cards, these big mana cards, to be very effective because you're just having the time to cast those. Now, of course, I draw a Swamp off the top. That's just the luck of it, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and throw out this Djinn, and then tap my Skittering Surveyor. Hopefully they do not have a removal spell of some kind in hand. It would be unfortunate if they did, but I do have 3 pretty big bombs, in my opinion, to throw out there, even if this guy does bite the dust. Okay, so looks like they're pretty scared to attack in. keeping these guys back, just attacking with their 1/1 menace, so not too worried about that. I'll let that chip in. Get a Skittering Surveyor of their own. So this presumably is going to get them a land that they may not have in their hand yet this turn. And it's a forest, so they actually are on a 3-color deck. And they were just missing that color they needed. Another swamp. Let's see. I will want another white eventually for this Sergeant-at-Arms to be able to kick it too. But for now, I think I'm just going to attack in with my Jin and then play Josu Ves post-combat. Josu Ves is a very good card. Of course, the dream is to kick him for 10 mana, but that's honestly a little unrealistic in most games, 95% of games, and he's just such a good card on his own that there's really no need to actually do that. And I'm going to go ahead and suit him up with Arcane Flight here. Means I'll be able to attack in for 10 damage next turn in the air. So even if one of these guys gets eviscerated or something with 4 mana open, I do have a backup. So they're playing something. What's it going to be? Thallid Omnivore. That is perfectly okay, I think. It is a very good card, I will say. Thallid Omnivore is a phenomenal card. I played with it yesterday and just astonished at how strong that is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and attack in. I'm going to cast Sergeant-at-Arms this turn and just settle for the fact that I'm not going to get to kick it, sadly. Not a huge loss, because it would have created 2 other 1/1s, which would be nice just to take up some space on the ground, but that is perfectly okay. They're down to 10. I'll go ahead and play my land. And I could hold up Adamant Will here. I can't fathom there's any reason I want to do that, because even if one of my creatures dies next turn, I still will get to attack in for at least 5 with the other one. Just looking here to make sure there's no reason. They're going to get in for 1 here, take me down to 13. They can, at least. Even if they attack in with everything else, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... And I mean, it doesn't even serve them well to sack into the Omnivore, I guess. Because we're just looking at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. Still 3 short, so I'm going to just throw out another blocker. Feel like that's just the safest bet here. Combat tricks in this set, I do believe, have looked to be pretty good. I've always really appreciated having one in hand that I've played so far. Interesting they did not kick this. Really makes me think they have something else in their hand they're planning on throwing out there. So, they're going in for attacks. I'm going to put this in front of the Thallid Omnivore just to stop any crazy tricks from happening. And then I'll put Sergeant-at-Arms in front of... I don't think it's particularly going to matter. But just in case some crazy shenanigans happen, I'll go ahead and be willing to trade him off here too. Do always have to be careful of this. Like I said, it's a very good card, and even if they sacked 4 things into it and somehow also gave it trample, then it still would only be 11 damage, and I'm blocking it with 2 toughness, meaning it only comes in for 9. And of course, for them to stack things into it, they aren't getting in with damage otherwise. So it looks like the opponent saw I'm just going to attack in next turn. I'll get to go ahead and begin sideboarding. They had a pretty creature-heavy deck. Oh, and I should mention, with this being a pre-release sealed event, you're kind of able to switch around the deck in between rounds here on this. And after playing the matches yesterday at the pre-release, I did include a couple of cards and make a couple of changes here. For example, one card I included was Demonic Vigor. Was very impressed with this card. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but definitely was a fan. I put the Blessing of Bells and Lock in here. And I think there may have been another card I put in, but I'm not entirely sure what that was. I don't know. I may not have, but I know I put those two in and switched a couple things around, took out a dub, and then took out another card. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Just realized that card is not good in sealed at all. Could have a chance in draft though. So I feel good with what I have. I don't actually think I'm gonna make any changes here. I'm gonna try this out again, just the same as it was. Alright, my hand looks good. I have removal. I'm able to cast every spell in my hand except the Juggernaut. As long as I get to that mana, though, I can. I'm not going to have any restrictions on color, so I will definitely be keeping this. Alright. Go ahead and play a Swamp and pass my turn. Next turn, I will likely be playing the Mesa Unicorn. I am a big fan, personally, of just the 2/2 lifelinks for 2. I think it's a solid stat line on a card, and I completely messed up by just not paying attention to what I was doing and playing another Swamp. So that is definitely my fault. That's big misplay there that I should have been mindful not to make. Alright, so a turn later, it's going to be unfortunate if this game comes down to 2 damage on either side of the board that I would have been able to attack in with, but that's how it goes. Got to be cognizant of what you're doing here. I'm not sure what the opponent is contemplating here. With triple black, they don't have a lot. They're obviously not going to be countering anything. I presume they're just trying to figure out if they want to maybe Vile Offering it or cast down it on Resolution. If they do, that actually makes me pretty confident about what their hand looks like if they're willing to spend a removal spell on my Unicorn. Next turn, I'll be able to go ahead and run out the Juggernaut, presuming I don't need to hold up some removal or something like that. Been very impressed with Juggernaut. I was happy playing it in my first 2 rounds in this sealed draft, and then I also played it at the pre-release, and it just did work for me every single time. You know, one great thing is it actually works with combat tricks really well, because the opponent typically just kind of thinks, oh, you have to attack in with it when you make a poor attack, right? Like, the opponent plays some big 6/6 or 7 power something or other, and it just seems like now's the downfall of Juggernaut. It has to attack, it's going to get eaten. But when you do have that combat trick in hand, it allows you to just kind of really take them by surprise. Alright, so I do think I'm just going to attack in here and then play Juggernaut. No reason really right now to hold up Seal Away or Vicious Offering. Again, opponent really contemplating something here, potentially. Alright, getting to attack in. I'm still not, you know, intimately familiar with this set, but I didn't play Juggernaut. What am I doing, guys? I'm not even paying attention. I just F6'd my way through life here. Oh, goodness. I gotta do better at this. Alright. I'm just gonna take the 5 mana play. Not going to attack. Ah, oh, goodness, what am I doing? I'll let them attack in for 4, sure. And they're going to replay the skittering thing after combat here. It's very possible I just Vile Offering it next turn, and then smash in for 11 plus damage. But they're playing another card, unfortunately. Let's see, what do I want to do? So I can cast Vile Offering, Vicious Offering on the Trapper, just to make sure they don't get to tap down any of my stuff, in addition to the fact I don't have to sack a creature, and it lets me attack in safely next turn, or this turn. So I do think that's the right call. I can put Demonic Vigor on something here to keep it a little bit more safe. That takes up 3 mana, and then I still have 3 left, allowing me to play Seal Away on their 4/4, since it's already tapped, and might just be a good time to get that out. Let's see how other things go here first. Alright. Now if I play Demonic Vigor, who do I play Demonic Vigor on? Do I want that on the Unicorn, or do I want that on Yargle? The Unicorn is tempting just for the lifelink, but this seems like a better card to bounce to my hand if it dies. Maybe I don't play it now. I go ahead and throw out the Serra Disciple, play the Seal Away. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and attack in with both. He'll block the Yargle. And then I'm just going to utilize my mana a little bit better here. Alright, so next turn I'll be able to play the Juggernaut, pump my Serra Disciple by 1, play Demonic Vigor, pump something else. They do have a lot of cards in their hand, with 6. Dark Bargain, so they are just trying to reach for something here. That's a very good sign. I will say this also is a very good card. I've played it several times now and been very impressed every time I play it. Okay, so this has me hopeful. I'm going to go ahead and attach this here. I just feel like there's a little bit more upside with it. Play this pre-combat so that I can get the trigger off Serra Disciple. And then smash in. for 14 damage here. Now they are dealing 4 damage to Yargle, but I will be able to get that back in my hand and cast it again next turn. Still going to deal 4 damage to them, take them to 10. Does make me grateful that that's where I put the Demonic Vigor. A Yargle of their own. Alright, so I'm going to play mine. Oh, one more. It's going to let me fly in for 2, and the Juggernaut has to attack. I'm not going to attack with the Mesa Unicorn this turn. That is just asking for it to get eaten. But if they want to block the Juggernaut, then it will end up trading. But do we have another Gideon's Reproach? We do. That's unfortunate. Okay, Arvad the Cursed. That's going to really pump their Yargle. Arvad is a very good card too, I must say. So I have the opportunity here to trade, which might be the right call. But if I can top deck a removal spell, then I can kill their Arvad, and then I just swing in, which I think might be better. I think I can take the 11 damage and be okay here. I also feel like if I went to block, then they were potentially going to have another Gideon's Reproach or something, because it seems like a careless attack to me. Okay, Knight of New Benalia. That makes things a little worse for me. And all I did was find a Plains. So also not great. So what's going to happen is I will just pass the turn. Because if I attack with the Yargle, it just gets chumped by a 2-mana card. I'm going to keep the Sarah Disciple up in case the Knight does attack. And no reason to attack with the Unicorn. So I will have to do some blocking here. Unfortunately, I do believe this game was probably decided by me completely missing that Juggernaut play on one of those turns, playing the Unicorn a turn later than it should have been. Alright. I'm going to make the blocks here that I believe I have to make by double blocking. I will gain 2 life off the deal, taking me back up to 12, so that's positive. And a Feral Abomination. And their own Sarah Disciple. Okay. So drawing another land here pretty much seals the deal on it. I'm going to take enough damage next turn that I'm out. So going into match 3, I do think I'm going to bring in my own Feral Abomination. What do I want to take out here? I think I can take out this guy. Cabal Paladin's not great. Maybe either a Wind Grace Acolyte or another Feral Abomination over him. Just to keep things slightly lower on the mana curve, and because I do believe flying is good against them, I'm going to go with the Wind Grace Acolyte. There are a couple other cards here in my sealed pool that I do believe are very strong cards. Obviously these two are strong, being the multicolored, but I was actually weirdly impressed by this card yesterday, Short Sword. It's 1 mana and 1 equip for dealing or getting +1/+1 to the equipped creature. And this doesn't sound like much, but ultimately whenever I was able to lay this down on the first turn and just use some excess mana, again, since these games are going long, it really provided me an advantage in key creatures that needed just a little bit of a power boost. Alright, I will be keeping this hand. I'll be able to play Academy Drake on 3, hopefully Juggernaut on 4, Yargle. Yeah, I think this hand looks good. And my opponent is on a mole. Let's see if they scry to the top or bottom. Bottom, so that's always a good sign for us. Alright, so we are going to be able to play the Juggernaut on turn 4, so that's great. As long as we draw into another land or two here, we're going to be able to keep right on pace and on turns 3 through 6. I think it looks good. Ooh, Knight of Grace. I don't have any planes yet, but this is just a phenomenal card. I had both the White Knight and the Black Knight in my sealed pool at the pre-release yesterday, and those things just offer a beating. What's this guy do? Create 2 1/1 tokens? That's actually pretty good. Alright, Sarah Disciple. Another card I'm not actually able to play at the moment, just with the lack of planes. Gideon's Reproach, okay. And then throw out the Juggernaut. I'd rather the Drake get Reproached than the Juggernaut, so that's okay. Ooh, more white cards. That's not exactly what I'm wanting to see here. It actually makes me believe that this is my play, not attacking with the Juggernaut, but getting the Djinn on the field by tapping the Juggernaut before combat. It's a little unfortunate because I feel like it's 5 damage I would have been able to just get in for there, but this is just the much higher value play. Notice also is important to note they can't actually activate Memorial to Glory yet because they have to have another white source. There is their own Yargle, though. That's not a great sign. Okay, so I'm going to have to get something on the battlefield to be able to sacrifice this to kill theirs. I can take 1 hit from it, but I would really like to be able to just get a planes off the top of my deck next turn to be able to kill it. Because I really do not want to sacrifice my 5/6 flyer to kill this guy. Yeah, nothing I can do here. Unfortunate to have to take 9. Oh my Dread Shade. That is not good. Okay, so there's a plains. I'm going to be able to play the Vicious Offering. So what I can do is if I actually... No, I don't control black permanent. I was going to say if I play Knight of Grace, that actually will let me first strike into the Yargle. But I do not control black permanent to be able to do that. So I'm going to just play the Sarah Disciple here, what I feel like is my lowest value option. Going to end up taking some damage off the Dreadshade, I'm sure. Because he can pump that up to a 6/6. So there's no reason even leaving a blocker back for me here. But what I can do is wait for him to attack with both, assign the Serra Disciple as a blocker to the Dreadshade, and then Vicious Offering in response to blockers being declared. That's definitely my best line. Surely I'm choosing the target creature to inflict damage to. Yeah. So this is going to save me from some damage this turn. Next turn I'll be able to play out another creature or two and just live as blockers, while I still can attack in for 5 in the air. Really hurting not to have this second Plains, because I would love to be able to play out some of those guys. But I'm just going to attack in here, play Yargle to block the Dreadshade. Just trade with it. If they even want to trade, which is questionable, truth be told. I'm not sure if they'll want to. We're on a 3-turn clock with my Djinn. So if I can get 2 more turns of attacking, I will be good on that front. So really my best case scenario for next turn is drawing a Plains. Maybe not even to cast the Serra Angel, but to be able to kick my Sergeant-at-Arms just to get 3 creatures on the battlefield at once would be a big swing here. So what I presume is going to happen is main phase 2, they're going to activate their Memorial to Glory, get 2 chump blockers. My Yargle's not going to do a whole lot for me. So I can either keep it alive by hitting it into the Mesa Unicorn and I take 6 damage, or I put it in front of this, we trade, and I take 2. But if he pumps this up to 6, then he can't activate the Memorial to Glory, and then maybe I'm only dealing with 1 chump blocker. If Yargle sticks around, then Knight of Grace becomes a 3/2. I'm going to be risky here. I'm going to put this in front of the Mesa Unicorn. This probably isn't the right call, but I'm going to try it out. Gideon's Reproach. Yep. Gideon's Reproach is a very good card. And a Deathbloom Thallid. Okay. It is unfortunate. He gained a little lifelink there, so it did not gain lifelink since I blocked this and he killed it. That is very important to note, actually. I'm actually going to be able to gain a lot of life if I play this turn. So if I lay down 1 creature to block, and I put it in front of the Dreadshade, whatever it may be, and then I take at most 5, maybe +2 if he has a crazy combat trick or something, and I'm going to be gaining 7 life this turn, taking me to 14. Yeah, actually, I think that's good. So I'm going to play out Knight of Grace. Ooh, and it has Hexproof from black. So that's going to keep it safe maybe from a Eviscerate or Vicious Offering of my opponents. Yeah, Okay, so I'm going to attack first. And I know it's weird to use a combat trick when it's not even going to win me the game, but the fact that I'm able to use it on my legendary and get lifelink from the deal, when I am a little scarce on life, is a big deal in this scenario. So that's one other reason I really like this card, because it is that lifelink, and it just, surprise, 1 mana, gain 7 life in this turn. And really, it's a 9-point swing even. Okay, so they just called it a day there. Oh, so this is interesting. I've never played a sealed league before, especially not a pre-release sealed league. So this says, congrats, you've completed stage 1, and for 40 more play points, you can add another Dominaria pack to your sealed deck. Yeah, and I'm just going to say, why not? I think it sounds good, right? That sounds fun. We're here to have fun. Oh my goodness, and I cracked Lyra Dawnbringer in that pack. That is amazing. That is just a bomb of all bombs. And I even have Sarah Angel in here, so that's actually a little bit of synergy there. That is just amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Aven Sentry is actually very good as well, and a card that I will play over Cabal Paladin. Let's see what other new cards I have here. Time of Ice, which I will say is a very good saga. I'm a big fan of. I'll play that over Sarah Disciple. Wizard's Retort, I don't think I had that before. I have a second Opt now. I have a Dark Bargain. Thalid Soothsayer. Fiery Intervention. You know, I can't fathom there's anything that I cracked that just makes me think I have to go red now. Ooh, I did get a Llanowar Elves. I don't think I had that before. Maybe I did, I don't know. Any good artifacts? Doesn't look like it. Just to make sure I didn't miss out on any crazy strong uncommons. Ooh, this is a good card. Not for my deck, but it's good. Fungal Plots. Okay. So, I do also like Dark Bargain. So I have to figure out if Dark Bargain is better than something in my deck here. And I also have to cut something because I included both of these cards. Maybe I cut Torgar. I don't really have many cards to sack to it, and it seems easily just blown out by a removal spell. So as cool as the card is, I think that's a card to cut. Now I just have to figure out, do I want Dark Bargain more than something else? I like my 4-drops a lot. This is my biggest question mark, but just a 3/2 flyer is not a bad thing by any means. Yargle is a better card than it should be. It dies very easily, but it puts pressure on your opponent to the point where they have to kill it. Are there any cards here I don't want? I think I can take Tetsuko out for Dark Bargain. My curve isn't beautiful, but I do like this. Do I need to change anything else? Maybe add another Plains, take out an island. I've lowered my island count, and really I just need 1 on most of these, so I'll add another Plains to it. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so I'm going to save this, and then we're going to move on to match 4, or the first round of the next stage.